he comes back to me and he goes, hey dude, like this deal's still available. Do you think you can help me move it? And I'm like, okay, so now you're coming to me for the last bits of the minutes, you know? And so I just gave him some crap because he's a good friend of mine. Again, I don't take things personal like that. But he brought it to me, and the other team was able to get a 555 offer, and I got it assigned for 567.5. And so essentially you're looking at $112,000 assignment fee on this deal.
Welcome to Investor Spotlight. Today we have a special guest. We have Eddie Marin from Deal Pros. And Eddie, how are you, man?
Absolutely amazing. How are you, Tim?
I'm doing great. Hey, we're right at the beginning of this new year, and I heard that you already closed 5 deals. You helped assign 5 deals for your clients, and you said one of those was a pretty cool story. Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we haven't closed them yet. We have assigned 5 more, right? So which is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been one hell of a beginning of the year. Great momentum so far. But one of the coolest things was, I'll tell you, you asked me about one of the stories that I have here. Well, this deal happened to come out from a guy that he brought us his first deal. I helped him do his first deal, creative deal last year. He made, essentially we brought in $21,000 in an assignment fee for that deal as a subject to up in North Phoenix area. Nice. And then we brought the buyer and so forth. And so, what ended up happening was he calls me up, he goes to my events on a Friday night and he goes, hey dude, I want you to check out this other deal. It's a cash deal though. And I'm like, perfect. And so I look at it and I'm like, hey, this is not, you guys, if you're thinking you're going to get $620K for it, you're not going to get $620K for it. But I could probably get it done around 540-ish, 550 max. And so he ended up going with another team at first because the other team told him they can get 620 for it, right? And so, and he had under contract for 450. And so this other team was pushing it, was doing this, and they couldn't get it. They couldn't get the buyer or anybody is like interested in it. And so then come to find out, he comes back to me and he goes, hey dude, like this deal's still available. Do you think you can help me move it? And I'm like, okay, so now you're coming to me for the last bits of the minutes, And so I just gave him some crap because he's a good friend of mine. Again, I don't take things personal like that. But he brought it to me, and the other team was able to get a 555 offer, and I got it assigned for 567.5. And so essentially you're looking at $112,000 assignment fee on this deal.
Yeah, that's amazing. Right? That's amazing. Yeah, we see that too. People will come to us for funding. They hear our rates and then they go, oh, I can get it cheaper somewhere else. And they go somewhere else and the person can't deliver, right? The person can't come up with the money when they need it. So they come back to us and it's like, well, unfortunately now it's a rush deal. So it might cost you a little more, but we can get it done. And so people just, they need to look for, like you, Eddie, quality, right? Quality over price. Sometimes whatever it takes, work with people that like and trust. And I know you do an awesome job with your clients. So yeah, tell us a little more about, like, I know you guys help with Dispo. What's your main focus? Who are you helping?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a real estate wholesale company where our biggest markets are Arizona, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. I personally have wholesaled in 31 different states. That doesn't mean I'm the master of every market, because I know I'm not, but I have a very good solid buyer base in Arizona, Texas, Florida, and Georgia, right? But one thing about me is that we help take your contracts that you have under contract and we get them to the finish line with our end buyers. Now, there's no guarantees on anything, but we are non-exclusive. So if for any reasons we can't sell it and you get it assigned and we don't get paid, so we only get paid when we do our job. Is in my opinion, is how it should be. And since then, in the last 2 years, we've closed 184 deals. Not even us closing 184. We have helped other JV partnerships and acquisitions teams close over 184 deals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it's been one hell of a journey. But one thing, just so that I can make that super clear. If you have a contract, you go find the sellers, you talk to them, you negotiate with them, with the agent, so forth, and you get a contract. 70% of all those contracts die.
Wow.
Right. And so when people just try to hoard all that in, and trust me, I was there before too. The amount of deals that I fell out of contract because I wasn't willing to go talk to another team that had potentially more experience or have more resources to sell the deal to, then we ended up losing. So right now we are 1,000 belief of the more people we partner with, the more money we make.
Yeah.
And so our more deals we close. And so that's exactly what we do now. We're strictly dispositions at this point. We help people find buyers and connect the buyers to the dots at this point.
Yeah, that's great. I've heard it said, would you rather have half of a watermelon or all of a grape? Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's what people do is if they're not willing to partner, they don't close as many deals, and in the end they don't make as much money. But if they're willing to partner with people like you who can help them get it to the finish line, they're going to make more money in the long run no matter what. So that's great. Now that's not the only thing you do. You also have a TC company.
Yep. We have a transaction coordinating company as well. Especially with creative deals, it's a must, right? And then with cash deals, it's an option. And the reason I say it's an option, as a matter of fact, to some people, they look at it as an option. I don't. And this last deal that I was telling you about the $112,000 assignment fee, the only reason why we got it to the finish line is because it took me a lot of my time and effort and energy to get that deal to the finish line. We're pretty close to it. And then at the very end, I handed it off to a TC that my TC partner should have been on it from the very get-go, because she would have done the exact same thing I did. And we would have worked on it as a team in a sense. But for me, it took me almost 2 days of trying to keep this deal together. Because if the universe is trying to throw away this deal or make it fall apart, it was this deal, right? Everything was being thrown at this deal, and it took a lot of attention to keep it together. And so, hiring a TC takes that extra time, like puts it back in your pocket, even on very crazy creative deals or cash deals or lucrative deals, whatever. A TC will help you keep it together, but not just any TC, right? Our TC company has done over 700 transactions. And so it's one of those things where you have to go to an experienced TC that knows how to handle these and the delicacy of them, because they fall apart very quickly. And, with this TC company, that's exactly what it is. And that's why I say cash is an option. I have bypassed a TC on a cash transaction before when it's a quick, easy. It's really very rarely easy. It takes up more of your time. So I value my time more, because I know I can go get more deals done while handing off the file to someone else and paying them their $800 or their $1,000 just to get it through the finish line on my behalf, right? And so most people are just, they're not in a position in that way, and that's okay. But when you are, highly for sure get a TC company for sure to do your files.
Yeah, I totally agree. Again, it's, you're better off partnering with somebody who has, like you said, experience is the key, right? So if they have the experience and they know how to do, especially with creative deals, there's so much that goes on with those. You need somebody who knows how to work those deals and can get you to the finish line for sure. Now, I know another thing you're excited about is your Deal Pro network, and we've been blessed to be able to come out to your Friday night events for a while now, and that just keeps growing, and new people keep coming in. It's exciting. So where do you see that going this year?
You know what? What I do like about the Deal Pro network is that it brings us together, right? Like you just said, you've been to the events, and so I host them every Friday. And this event's not, don't get me wrong, my business is to build the family or to build my life for my family and so forth. But I also get to help other people accomplish their goals too along the way, right? Yep. But the Deal Pro network is a little bit more, how would you say? I have a little bit more sentimental value to it, because I've been doing it for the last 2 years, every single Friday. And it's a free event, right? But the free costs you your time, right? Or you have to invest your time, better yet said. And so when I'm able to bring everybody together with a network of high valued individuals that are only looking to see each other win and not take advantage of each other, because this real estate world is and can be very shady of people, bad apples, bad characters, just like any other industry, right? But you're dealing with a lot more dollar figures. And so this event is something that, don't get me wrong, there's never a perfect event. There's never a perfect crowd. But, when you lead with values and integrity, that is what this event's all about. Doing more deals with each other, right? And so people at this event, last night we had about 55 people show up last night. We were talking about all the I brought up about 5 different groups of people, all active in the real estate wholesale business, finding deals and even buyers and lead generators and stuff, and talking about the success stories that they have. What are they doing today in today's marketplace that's getting them real results? And so that's why I say it's the Deal Pro Network, because it's pro results, pro systems, and pro relationships at this point, right? And so that's all about this event. The big goal for this event is to outgrow our office that we have here when I'm throwing these events, because right now we average about 40 to 60 people every Friday, and then once a month we'll get about 120-ish.
Right.
And I just want to be able to do more deals with people, but not just that, see more people doing deals with each other, right? And so it's going to be exciting.
No, that's great. I appreciate that. We look forward to seeing you again this Friday coming up. Hey, one more thing I want to ask you. If you could give one piece of advice to a brand new wholesaler real estate investor, what would you tell them? I mean, you've got lots of experience. How many years have you been in the game?
5 years.
5 years. And in some industries that doesn't seem like a very long time, but in this industry, that is some serious experience. 5 years in real estate investing. So what would you tell somebody who's brand new, just getting started with the experience that you have?
Be 100% truthful where you're standing at today. Get super grounded of where you're at. Dream big, right? Dream big, set goals and set milestones, but be real with yourself, right? Some people, like when I first started, I said, I'm going to go buy 10 houses and start replacing my income immediately. When I was doing the work, or I was thinking I was doing the work, and I've never bought a house before, it kind of was a letdown, right? And at this point, we're like, all right, I'm never going to do wholesaling because I tried it before I started this last 5 years. And it kind of ruined it for me a little bit up front, because I had such a negative mindset towards wholesaling at the beginning, that when I finally gave into it and I said, all right, fine, we'll just start with the wholesaling, because we didn't know anything about real estate investing at first. Wholesaling was a way for us to understand how people buy properties, why they buy properties, where they buy properties, how they buy properties. And all I had to go do is become really good at talking with people and marketing and finding out what people are looking for, and then go find the leads that are the sellers that are doing that are needing to sell, and connect the pieces. And once you have enough experience with that, then you can go buy, your first rental or your first investment if you want to go full time into this, right? But then the people that have great W-2s, here's the second tip for you guys. Wholesaling is only for the people that don't have a lot of funds today, but I have a lot of time. Okay. Yeah. If you have a really good W-2, you don't need to wholesale. You just have to get super good at connecting and getting your inner network of people to go buy properties. But if you're interested in marketing and sales, and that's what you'd prefer to do because you can make a lot of money in wholesale, yes, you can, then that's a different story. But if you have a W-2, don't look at wholesaling. Don't get FOMO off of wholesaling, because wholesaling is simple, but it takes a lot of work. It took me 7 months to get my first deal. Now, the last 2 years, we've done 184 deals.
Right.
That doesn't come. That took me 3 years of scraping by, getting into debt, doing all this stuff, learning, getting punched in the mouth, all this stuff, until I finally reached and understood where I fit in the marketplace. And then since I made that transition, I was able to sit out 5 years of my life, going 4 years full time, 5 years total. And that's where the connections we've made, the branding we've built. And that's what allowed me to really, the more people I helped and realize is the more deals we end up going with. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot more companies doing a lot more deals than we are. But I will tell you this, that we are on path and projection to become a very, and we'll go for a second episode on where our ultimate goal is or something.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. We definitely have you back and hear kind of where things go from here. But no, I totally agree with you. I think a lot of people start off with wholesaling because they have the time, they don't have the money. That's a great way to cut your teeth. You learn so much about the business. It's a grind, though. I know my wife did it for years, and now thankfully she's working with me on the funding side full time. But yeah, no, learning experience, and you've got to be willing to take those punches, like you said. It makes you stronger. Going through the challenges, going through the struggles, it makes you stronger, it makes you better, and it teaches you what you need to know. So I'm glad that you stuck with it, Eddie. Great to have you on Investor Spotlight today, and we'll see you Friday at the event.
Sounds good. Let's
All right,
go.
buddy. Thanks so much for being on here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Investor Spotlight. I hope you got some value out of this. If you did, please like this and also subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.